Hello friends, today we are going to discuss about the fallacy of idealism. Friends, from our childhood, we are asked to follow certain ideals. We are motivated by those ideals. We are told that if we follow those ideals, we can become the best person, we can achieve all our goals. And therefore, what happens that we sacrifice sometime everything to achieve our ideals. Whether the ideals create the perfect world, well, that is not the truth. The problem is that these ideals oversimplify the reality and they create a type of fallacy which can be called a fallacy of idealism. So let us understand today this particular fallacy. So first of all, let us understand what is ideal or what are the ideals. Ideals are basically the principles, values, or goals that represent perfection, excellence, or the highest standard. So when we say that something is ideal, that means that is something which is representing the highest standard. Beyond that, nobody can reach. So these are the goals or the principles or the values which every person must follow. So in this way, the ideals acts as a guide for our behavior, our decision making, and our striving for a better world. But friends, we should understand that ideals are not perfect, even though they play a very, very important role in inspiring the people, motivating the people to sacrifice their personal interest to achieve the goals and ideals to create a better world. So ideals to some extent has a utility that they inspire us to do something greater than what we generally do for the sake of society, but they are not the criteria of perfection. But what happens that when the people who are in power, they implement their ideals on all the people in the society, then from ideals it becomes idealism. That means everybody has to follow that particular ideal, whether you accept it or not. Now there are many types of idealism in this world. For example, capitalism, which believes that everything should be decided on the basis of demand and supply. On the contrary, you have socialism or communism, where concept of equality is there and state should have the ultimate control. Then we have idealism of nationalism and patriotism, where we should keep the interest of our nation above everything else. We should be able to sacrifice all of our interests for the sake of nation. Then we have humanism, where human is in the center of the universe and everything should be done in the best interest of human beings. We also have vegetarianism, and then we have so many type of ideals which are given in the respective religions. Now the people who believe in these ideals, they think that everybody should do what they think is right or what their ideals are. But is it true? Unfortunately, it is not. This idealism creates lots of problems in the modern society. What are the problems? First of all, it set unrealistic standards, uncompromising goals for the individuals. For example, nationalism may require that you should sacrifice your life for the nation. Is it practical? Should you do that? That is something the problem. A religion will ask you to sacrifice your life for the religion. Then you have socialism, which implement everybody equality, everyone's equality. They want to sacrifice your excellence because you should work for the society. Ideals basically assumes that every human being is a good person and he will voluntarily comply with the ideals. That is not true. For example, we don't want to be equal to everybody. We want better than other people. We want to make our name. We want to be recognized as the best in the particular field. So the very idea of equality may be theoretically right, but not really practical. So all the ideals ignore the practical consideration and the selfish nature of human beings. We are all selfish. We all want, that things should be good for us. But that ignores that. All the ideals ignore that. The most damaging part of the ideals is that it believes in the absolute concept of right and wrong, and it allows no compromise. So a socialist think that capitalism is evil. A capitalist will think that socialism is evil. And so is other things. The atheist will think that the religions are fake. Religious people think that atheists are, fake people or immoral people. Because every ideal create a world which it believes to be perfect. And so everything else become imperfect. Now, the problem is that the belief in the idea is also flawless and it is amenable to change. Just like you can't change a comma and full stop in the religion, the same way the ideals are also inflexible and they claim that it is something which everybody should achieve, and that is how they create some sort of conflict between the people who follow the different ideals. Now, how can we say that ideals are oversimplification fallacy? How these ideals are oversimplification fallacy? Because ideas don't represent the reality. They oversimplify the reality. And therefore, they represent the half truth or even a small grain of truth, while most of the things are false. Instead of creating an accurate model of the world, they create an artificial or abstract model of the world and then force the whole world to fit into that model. So that is one of the major problems. You create an abstract model and want everybody to fit into that. The fact is that no ideal is perfect. In fact, for every ideal, there is equal and opposite ideal you can find. The idealists see the word black and white. That means either you are with us or you are our enemy. That is not the reality. The word is not black and white. It consists of numerous colors. And so there are numerous ideas of creating a better world. And therefore, there are numerous ideals also. But when you treat the word as black and white, and anything which does not fit into ideal is your opponent, in that case, what happens? That there is a conflict. And the conflict between different ideals lead to the conflict between the supporter of those ideals, and that basically create fight and conflict in the world. So friends, very important to understand first of all that idealism is fake. It is not the whole truth. We have to overcome this fallacy of idealism if we want to see the clear picture of the world. So reject all ideals as imperfect. No ideal is perfect. Reject all ideals. You may have some ideals. Ideals are having some good thing also in that. So you can use the ideals as a guideline, but not the goal. You must follow your ideal as much as you can, but at the same time, don't force your ideal on other people. Try to find out the positive side of the ideals of the different idea and the negative side of your own ideal. If you do that, in that case, what you can do is that you can synthesize the different ideal and you can create a better ideal and you can create a better world. For example, take the example of China. It was a communist country, but it brought into it some elements of capitalism, and as a result, it is one of the most powerful and developed economy in the world. Similarly, in most of the European and American countries, which are basically known as the capitalist countries, they brought certain elements of communism or social justice, and they were able to create a better society based on that. If any country follow one single ideal, then it ruins the country. So friends, today we learned about the fallacy of idealism, and we learned that no ideal is perfect. We should respect other ideas. We should try to accumulate the wisdoms which is contained in the different ideas so that we can create a better world, because we can understand the reality better, and that is how we can overcome the fallacy of idealism. Thank you very much.